Hello everyone. Our next literary piece is entitled Honest Blindness by John Milton. Who is John Milton? According to the description here, he was born in London on December 9, 1608, in a middle-class family. He was educated at St. Paul's School, then at Christ's College, Cambridge. He began to write poetry in Latin, Italian, and English, and prepared to enter the clergy. Additionally, he wrote at a time of religious flux and political upheaval, and is best known for his epic poem Paradise Lost. What is the poem all about? This poem is an autobiographical sonnet written in 1673 when he suffered complete blindness. In this sonnet, he is trying to explain the struggles he went through after his loss of sight. This poem is considered to be a sonnet of 14 lines written in the Petrarchan rhyme scheme. Its rhyming scheme is A-B-B-A, A-B-B-A, C-D-E, C-D-E. Through the subject matter departs from that of Petrarchan poems, which mainly is about love, but still this sonnet contains many spiritual implications, which makes it a Petrarchan. The first 8 lines is octave, where we usually see the introduction of the main theme or question, and in the last 6 lines is called sestet, which we see the questions being answered, and this is how usually a sonnet is. Let's take a look at the rhyme scheme of the sonnet or poem. You take a look at the last word on each line because that will be the basis for the rhyme scheme. Let's check. We have the spent, wide, hide, bent. A, B, B, A. A is the same with the fourth line here, the bent. Spent, bent, A, A. Wide and hide is B, B. A, B, B, A. Next we have present, chide, denied, and prevent. Same true with the with the first 4 lines. We have the present, spent, chide, wide, denied, hide, prevent, bent. A, B, B, A. Next we have need, best, and state. Need is the same with speed, best, same with rest, and states, same with wait. CDE, CDE. That's how you're going to identify the rhyme scheme of a sonnet consisting 14 lines. Let's try to read this sonnet all together. You might want to join me in reading this poem. When I consider how my life is spent, ere half my days in this dark world and wide, and that one talent which is death to hide, lodged with me useless, though my soul more bent, to serve therewith my Maker, and present my true account, lest he returning chide. Doth God exacting labour lighten it? I fondly ask, but patience to prevent. That murmur soon replies, God doth not need either man's work or his own gifts. Who best bear his mild yoke, they serve him best. His estate is kingly, a thousands at his bidding speed, and post o'er land and ocean without rest. They also serve who only stand and wait. Let's try to dissect each lines, beginning with the first 2 lines. So, when I consider how my life is spent, ere half my days in this dark world and wide. In the first 8 lines, Milton asked God the reason for his blindness and the dilemma he is facing to serve him. And in the next 6 lines, Milton's inner self clears all of his confusion. Here, in the first line, Milton says that all his life has been spent. That means that Now that he is blind at the age of 42,
Uno, dos.
he thinks his light years, or those years where he had vision he could see, has already been spent, and now he lives in a
Uno,
dark
dos.
world. And because of his blindness, Milton thinks that the world has become dark and wide. So on the next lines, and that one talent which is death to hide, lodged with me useless. So the word talent here refers to the Milton's skills that God has given him. But after losing his vision, he thinks that it's no longer useful. Here, the word talent has a biblical reference to it. As a biblical scholar, Milton was familiar with the text of the Bible and chose to refer a short story, the parable of talents from Matthew chapter 25. So in this story, a master gives his three servants three bags of talent, that is money, and lives for his trip. So two of the servants use this money and earn more, but the third one just buries the money and does nothing. So when the master returns, the servants, or the two servants who earned more money, gives them to their master, and the master appreciates them for their skills. But when the third servant returns the money as it is, the master gets angry and banishes him. This story also shows that the third servant buried his talent in death, as he didn't even attempt to use it. So here, Milton thinks that his talent of reading and writing will also go in vain, as he would never use it again. Going on to the next lines, though my soul more bent to serve there with my Maker and present my true account, lest he return in chide. So through the line soul is bent dito on the first line here. He is trying to convey now that his talent is dead and he feels what his soul yearns to do, and that is to serve God, which is not possible anymore. But still, he wants to serve his master, which is God, because again, here the reference comes from the Matthew chapter 25 story, like how in the story the master returns and become disappointed with the servant who has done nothing with the money and the master had given. Likewise, when God himself comes and asks Milton what he has done for him with his talent, he is scared to give the same answer as the servant had given the master the talents. So since God has true accounts of all, he is afraid that God would chide or scold him for doing nothing. So next lines, doth God exactly labor like the night? I fondly ask. Finally, after thinking all the possibilities, Milton now wonders, does God really ask people who are blind to do something for him? So he doesn't know how difficult it is for people with no light to do any kind of labor in the daylight. Then Milton calls himself a fool to ask this question. So next, but patience to prevent that murmur soon replies, God doth not need either man's work or his own gifts. Who best? So let's stop right there. So now, patience comes to Milton's rescue. In these lines, patience is personified as someone who talks to the poet by putting some sense to him. Patience, in addition, murmurs and tells him that God doesn't need anything from him, nor does he need any kind of gifts from anyone. So let's continue with this line. Bear his mild yoke, they serve him best. So yoke in here means a wooden crosspiece that is fastened over the necks of two animals and is attached to the plow or pull the cart. So in these lines, patience again in telling Milton that God needs nothing from anyone, and all you have to do is just bear his mild yoke. So mind you, the yoke is not heavy or hard. It's mild, which one can bear easily. And follow him as the animals do and leave everything to God as he'll take care. And that's how someone be server to God. So on the next lines, his estate is kingly, thousands at his beating speed, and post over land and ocean without rest. They also serve who only stand and wait. So again, we talk about patience, which continues to be exemplified in the line, his estate is kingly, meaning God is king and not a master who expects things to be done by their servants. He has thousands of bidding, in a sense, work to do things that require his vision. Now, there are people who move from land to ocean without rest to serve him, but finally, patience pacifies Milton, saying, those who are unable to move all over and just wait at one place are also serving God in their own way.